In today's video, we're going to go over the third of the 4 variations of a shoulder in. And today is just shoulder in down the rail and shoulder in following a straight line. In the previous 2 videos, we talked about counter shoulder in down the rail and shoulder in on the circle. And so you've been out there, you've been playing with that, and now we're going to progress on into just a shoulder in. And some common things that start showing up here in the shoulder in is when we start to ask the shoulder to come off the rail, or we move the hind end over, we're still using the inside rein to want to control the hind end. So hopefully by now, with enough counter shoulder in down the rail and some shoulder in the circle, you're not using your inside rein as the rein to create the angle. So we're going to head off down the rail, and our cues to set up a shoulder in, same as all the others, is I'm going to rotate my shoulders, shift my weight slightly into the direction of travel, and then I'm going to ask for the angle. And I can do that either by moving the hind end out, or I can bring the shoulders in. It's easier to move the hind end out than it is to ask the shoulders to go in. So in the beginning you'll be just moving the hind, but as you progress you will start asking the shoulders to move over. So I'll just go straight ahead here as I cross the arena. As I get back to the rail here, again, I go straight ahead, I rotate my shoulders, I shift my weight into the direction of travel. I come on with a little bit of an inside leg when her inside leg's leaving the ground, and that creates the angle. So remember, the shoulder in has 2 parts. It has bend, which we use our inside rein to create the bend, and the second part is angle. So angle is about capturing with the outside rein and engaging enough with the inside leg. So again, as I go here, so I rotate my shoulders, I shift my weight, I come on with my leg, and now I have to have enough outside rein to catch this shoulder to hold it here as I ask the hind to engage and to cross over slightly. And this is pretty nice here. Now at the walk, they don't have to be going real fast. Ideally you want them to kind of have a slow walk, but not so slow that it's not a walk rhythm anymore. You want a 1, 2, 3, 4, not a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4. It needs to be enough where it's actually a walk, but not too fast where they get braced. So again, I rotate, shift my weight slightly, catch the outside shoulder with the outside rein, activate my inside leg to say step up and over, and we're looking for a 3-track to a 4-track. So can her inside hind be in line with her outside front? That's a 3-track, and a 4-track would be the outside hind is actually to the outside. So like here, right there, that would be a 4-track. So each foot is on its own path. And that's a little bit more of an angle. Depending on your horse, you're going to ride them either 3 to 4-track. With her, she tends to not really want to do much angle, so I tend to ride her a little bit more towards the 4-track place. And so I'll just change directions, do the same thing this way. So I rotate my shoulders to the inside, shift my weight out, activate my inside calf when her inside hind is leaving, and I can feel that when my inside seat bone's at the lowest point is when her foot's leaving the ground. And there she's almost getting too slow. So then I can activate with the whip a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. And once she gets soft, then I allow her to go forward. Now our tendency is we're going to want to pull with the reins to make this happen, to get the hind end to move over. To get the angle, we're going to pull on the rein here. And the rein is just for creating the bend, the inside rein. The outside rein is more about the angle of bringing it over and then holding. So the outside rein captures the energy that steps up from the inside hind. It controls how much bend you have and how much angle. So I'm holding with the outside. I'm gathering the energy of her stepping up underneath. Because the shoulder in is one of the greatest ways to supple and engage your horse. Getting them to step up and underneath, because there's a little bit of a crossover. The horse is stepping up underneath their body as they cross over a little bit. So they're suppling the outside of their body. As they step forward and underneath, they're also lifting and engaging. So if you look at this hind leg here, it starts stepping underneath me. So it starts picking her back up. I have to capture enough with the outside rein. The inside rein just keeps the bend. It's not about controlling the hind end. Your seat and legs are for controlling the hind end. Your upper body and hands are for controlling her front of her body. And that's why in the shoulder in we rotate our shoulders to mimic her shoulders. And in that, see, I can rotate, shift my weight, and she goes there. Now if I go straight, she goes right back to going straight ahead. And then if I rotate, and she goes right back into it. I don't have to do a lot of anything else, but in the beginning you might. But if you find that you're having to really work at it, go back to your counter shoulder in down the rail and some of your shoulder in on the circle. That's going to really help out. And remember, in your shifting of your weight, what most people want to do is they want to collapse their body so they think they're going out, but they collapse but still loads the inside leg, the inside hind. So you really want to keep your body straight up and down and just kind of shift over. Another way to think of it is, am I taking my weight off the inside hind? That's the hind that needs to step up in underneath. If I'm sitting on that, it makes it a lot harder for her to pick up and step underneath. And that's why we rotate, we shift our weight, get off of that hind, allow it to come up and underneath, and that's pretty nice. Now that's down the rail. So you're going to start off there, then you want to progress to going down a straight line. Can I go straight ahead and then rotate? Now it's going to be a left or right shoulder in. So I'm in a left shoulder in because that's the direction the shoulders are going. And I try to follow the straight line. If there's a line on the ground, can I stay on that line? And that was pretty nice. I'll circle back and then I'll do that on the other direction. So here I rotate to the right, shift my weight to the left slightly, staying down the center line. So I have to really control those shoulders. And this is something you can start to play with as you go down the trail. And instead of it being just a shoulder in, it's going to be a shoulder in to the left or shoulder in to the right. Because like on the center line, there's no in, you're already to the center. So then it's a left or right. And so that's pretty good there at the walk. And then it's all the same thing at the trot. So as I'm going down the rail, can I rotate, shift my weight in the direction of travel, and get enough angle with my inside leg. Now, if I come on with the leg and it's not happening, I could also activate with the crop. Nisa here is doing just fine, so I don't need to. But if you feel like you're having to really force it or get heavy with the leg, activate with the crop to get that angle. I'll come down the center line here. Now I have to control her shoulders with my outside rein. If she wants to leave left or right, I have to direct with my outside rein. Some of you are going to find with your horse that the trot's going to be easier than the walk because you have some momentum. Well, the walk sometimes can be a challenge because there's no momentum there. So I rotate, shift my weight. See, there's a slight crossover happening. The horse is stepping up and underneath with the inside hind. So that's pretty nice. Now we'll play with it at the canter. In the canter again, this might be a long time before you get to it at the canter, so don't get in a hurry with it. You need to have a nice rhythmic canter first. So I'm just letting her kind of settle into the canter. When I get to the other side, I'll do a little shoulder in. There. And we've been playing with lead changes, so she's thinking, oh, we've got to prepare for a lead change. So there's the nice release from her. So I just go a few strides. And then let her out of it. And that's with your horse too. At any of the gaits. In the beginning, just a couple strides is fine. There. And let her have that. So, as you can see at the canter, it's a lot more difficult. A lot more work for the horse. But it's a great engaging. It really gets the horse paying attention and coming up underneath you. So I'll give her just a little bit here and we'll go back the other direction and do the same thing the other way. So really think about your rotating your shoulders, shifting your weight into the direction of travel, and creating the angle through holding the outside rein, maybe bringing the outside rein in a little bit, and activating your inside leg to create that angle. So don't make it a big deal. The shoulder ends is not that difficult if you take your time to prepare for it. So make sure you have your bends and counter bends in place and you're doing your counter shoulder in down the rail and on the circle. And when you get all of those things done, coming out here and doing your shoulder in down the rail is not going to be that difficult. So I go, I rotate, shift my weight. Good. And again. There. And I'll do it down the center line. Good. She was thinking we needed the lead change. So we'll try that one again. So I rotate, shift my weight, there you go, nice. And that time she stayed relaxed as she did the shoulder in. And at the canter, you're not gonna be that much of an angle, because if you go too much of an angle, they'll start knocking their knees in the front because they're crossing over. So it's just a slight angle there, and it really helps them to start paying attention to you, getting soft, getting relaxed. So go on out there, play with your shoulder ins down the rail. So you're going to use the rail and then get to the point where you can do it down the center line and then start playing with it out on the trail. This is a fabulous way to start getting your horse to relax out there on the trail. When you're going down the trail, your horse gets kind of amped up. Just put them in some shoulder ins and help them to relax, because the shoulder in makes them work a little bit more and helps them to soften and relax and get back engaged with you. So go out there and play with it and let me know how it works, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.